Oh, here we go. Biden goes, and this is from the Daily Mail. Biden goes on a podcast with Hollywood celebrities to discuss golf, how Jill prefers him to shave, and when he wakes up and works out with just 6 days until the midterms, and with Democrats teetering on the edge. President Joe Biden revealed his daily routine in an interview with the Smart List podcast's Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. He wakes at 7 a.m., works out at 8 a.m. with trainer who comes to White House. He works in... let me scroll down. He works in Oval Office until around 7 p.m., and then he has dinner with Jill. He goes to bed around 11, and he noted Jill's pet peeve with him. She gets very upset if I have not fully shaven, Biden said. Interview came a week ahead of the midterm election. Now, this is ridiculous because the only real person that he's gone to campaign for was John Fetterman, and it's almost like Fetterman was taking audio cues from Biden because neither one of them can really speak. And that is, I am referring to Fetterman using a teleprompter. He can barely get a statement out, and he can't hold two of his contradictory statements in his head at the same time, such as he doesn't stand for fracking and he does stand for fracking, always has stood for fracking. Yeah, but you said you didn't. How do you do? It's almost like a Biden or a Kamala speech. So, here we go. President Joe Biden revealed his daily routine, how he spends time with Jill and his workouts with an in-house trainer during an interview with a trio of Hollywood celebrities in the run-up to the midterm election. He gave the rundown of a typical day in the life of the President of the United States. Biden, 79, said he says he wakes up at 7 a.m., works out at the White House at 8, then heads to the Oval Office, and he's there until 7 p.m., after which he heads to the residence to have dinner with the First Lady. He then reads his briefing book, which clocks in around 200 pages before going to bed at 11. And I don't know if anyone hearing this would believe that. Biden recounted the details of his personal life in an interview with the Smart List podcast Jason Bateman, I like him in Arrested Development, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. And he noted Jill's pet peeve with him. She gets very upset if I haven't shaven. Here's the two of them, him being escorted where he needs to go. The polls are showing the Republicans are going to win a bunch of seats in the House and the Senate. And that's nice. The president gave the interview headed into next week's midterm election, with many Democrats fearing losses at the polls. Election forecasters believe Republicans will win control of the House, which will let the GOP stymie Biden's legislative agenda for the next 2 years. Come on, guys. 2 years. You're only in office for 4 years, and this would be 2 down, so there's 2 left. With 6 days to go, polls show enthusiasm. Oh, come on. I'm trying to read here. Show enthusiasm is high among Republican voters. The polls also show Biden's low approval ratings. The polls also show Biden's low approval ratings, with many Americans unhappy with the high inflation driving up the cost of living. Crime is listed as another top issue, and Republicans have been hammering Democrats as soft on it because they wanted to defund the police. Polls have projected a discontent among Americans with how Democrats have handled both issues, among other issues. Though neither party has seemed to net a decisive majority on public trust to stop rising crime and fix the economy, the vast majority of surveys show voters favor the GOP to oversee them. In the nearly hour-long podcast interview, Biden spent much of it discussing his life at the White House. He said he works out for 45 minutes every morning with a trainer that comes in to work with him. I feel good. The thing I feel in the difference in age is if I let it go for a week, I feel it. I thought it was every day. How are you going to go for a week? Anyways, he said he and Jill are struggling to find time together given his work as president, and that she is teaching full-time at a Northern Virginia community college. I went to a Northern Virginia community college. Usually we tried to do that. We go to Camp David or go back to our house in Delaware, which is secluded enough off the road. He said he relaxes by watching sports, usually football, and he noted his favorite part of being president is riding on Air Force One. The good news is a plane never leaves until I get there, he said. Yeah. And that's it. So, if any of you buy any of that, he's reading 200 pages a day in like 3-4 hours. Dr. Jill is teaching English that I can believe. That's it. I'm not gonna. That's pretty much it. Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes. You could have found a much more popular guest. I don't know. Take it easy, everybody.